Hey everyone, it's Tassos. This is my first YouTube video, so I'm really excited, and today I'm just going to talk about some recent purchases I've made and some other things that I'm just really into at the moment, and that sort of thing. So I hope you enjoy. So yesterday I went to my local thrift store with my friend, and I hadn't been for a few months, so I was really excited and I found a lot of great things. So I'm going to show you. So the first thing I saw in the jewelry display was this gorgeous necklace. I'm really into chunky kind of necklaces like this with lots of charms and layers and just really bold. And I love the fit of it. It fits right at the collarbone where I like. And I just had to get it. It was less than $2. So cute, beautiful colors, everything. So then the next thing I found were these pair of kind of like army green pants. You can't tell, but they kind of crop above the ankle. So they're not super long pants. They're kind of almost like capris. And I just really needed like a neutral color pants because all my pants are either black, white, or like a really crazy bright color. So that was that. And then on a similar note, I got these purple pants. They're kind of a similar cut and style to the green ones, just with a different waistline and obviously a different color. The purple is so beautiful and it's kind of toned down but still very rich in color. And these are not cropped at the ankle, so they're full length, but I think they're gonna be so cute. And then I got this beautiful blouse, which admittedly is huge on me. I do like oversized shirts, so that's why I found this, but this is to the point that it's like a dress on me. It literally goes past my knees, so I am gonna have to crop that when my sewing machine is fixed. But the reason why I bought it was because I was so drawn to these star embellishments as well as the hot air balloon embroidery. That paired with the pinstripes, it just felt very retro, very playful, and just felt like something from a different era. So at the thrift store, I always stop at the CD shelf. There's always a great selection of really cheap CDs, usually from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. So it's great to search and find some gems. So the past year or so, I've become a Celine Dion fan. So I saw this, A New Day Has Come, which is my favorite album of hers. And then I found Celine Dion My Love, which is like a compilation of her hits and essentials. And then an artist I've loved for quite a while, Janet Jackson. They always seem to have a good selection of her, but I've never seen The Velvet Rope, which is my favorite Janet record. And they had Design of a Decade, which I accidentally bought a duplicate of because I lost track, but Design of a Decade, which is another hits compilation sort of deal. So those were the CDs I found. I always have really good luck in that shelf. So now I'm going to talk about some books. So over the last few months, I've been really into reading. I was never a big reader, never a fast reader, never enjoyed reading throughout my childhood and teenage years. But this spring, something clicked within me, and I've just gone through like 15 books this summer since early May, late April. And once I start a book, I finish it really quickly, and then I move on to my next one. So I've been buying a lot of books lately and filling up my shelf. So the one I'm currently reading is Daisy Jones and the Six, which is a book set in the late 60s and all the way through the 70s about a fictional rock band. And it just tells a really beautiful tale about their relationships with each other, romances, life on the road as a rock star, making music, etc. And it's all written in an interview style. So everything in it is dialogue, and I thought that was a really cool method to show each perspective of all 7 main characters, as well as some other side characters. And it's the first Taylor Jenkins Reid book that I've read, and she's pretty popular right now, especially with the young adults in my age group. So I was really excited to read this, and I'm glad I started it because I'm about 70% in, and it's amazing, and I haven't got a chance to finish it, but I'm definitely going to do that this weekend. So then I went a few weeks back to this used bookstore about 15 minutes from my house. It was so cool. It was such an experience. They had shelves and shelves. For a pretty small store, they had tons of things, and for a really good price. They had poetry, philosophy, science books, fiction books, nonfiction, biography, art books, cookbooks, whatever you want. So I picked up 3 books there, and the first one I'm going to talk about is Ariel by Sylvia Plath, which is her poetry book, or one of her poetry books. And I marked Tulips as my favorite poem so far that I've read. And earlier this summer I read The Bell Jar, which is my favorite book that I've read so far and probably ever. And so I wanted to see what her poetry was all about. And I found this for super cheap and pretty good condition. It's a little scratched up, but it adds to the charm. And then I found this book, which for some reason stuck out to me. It's called Basic Black with Pearls. And I've never heard of this author, Helen Weinsweg, or this book, to be honest. It's in very good condition. The spine really caught my attention, the title, everything. And I was reading some reviews, and it got pretty good reviews and was described as a lost feminist classic. So I'm excited to read what it's about. And then this is a book I'm probably most excited that I found there, which was Laughter in the Dark by Vladimir Nabokov. So earlier this summer I read Lolita, which, as controversial as it is, I thought it was a beautiful, haunting, obviously disturbing tale. But the writing style was beautiful, it was written beautifully, everything about it was a really enjoyable read for me. So when I saw his name on the shelf and a title that I didn't recognize, I picked it up, and everything about it intrigued me. It's described as an ironic novel of desire, deceit, and deception, and it's a romance set in the 1930s. And I'm very excited to read this. I'm sure it'll be different than Lolita, but again, his style really captured me. So I'm excited to get into this book. Last night I was out and about and went out to dinner and then went to Barnes & Noble's, which is a store I love. There's always fun things to find, and it's just very relaxing to me. So I picked up 3 books. I picked up The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion, which is a nonfiction essay, autobiography sort of thing. And I've wanted to get into Didion's work for a long time. And I decided to pick this up because a friend suggested it and said it was hauntingly heartbreaking and emotional. And from what I've heard, it just looks amazing. And I'm so excited to get into her. And I think this will be a good place to start from what I've heard. And then another one recommended by a friend was Little Fires Everywhere, which I don't really know much about, and to be honest, I haven't really read the back cover fully, and I'm fine with that. I'm gonna keep it a surprise for now. It's just so cute, and I've seen this everywhere, and I really want to try it out. And then another Taylor Jenkins Reid book, which is Maybe in Another Life. And this book was recommended to me by one of my mother's friends. And since I'm reading Daisy Jones and the Six and really like her style of writing and really enjoy the book, I thought I'd give another one a try next. And from what I've heard and read about it, it's about a girl who makes a decision and the first half of the book is how her life goes if she goes one way, and the second half of the book is how she goes another. And I thought that was a really cool concept of how your life can change on one decision, and it's always a concept I've thought about and fascinated with, and the whole butterfly effect of just one small thing and how your life could differ so much. So I'm glad it's in a book form for me to read, and I'm excited to see the concept come to life. So next I'm going to talk about perfumes, and over the last year or so I have really gotten into fragrances and expanding my knowledge and expanding my collection. I just love perfumes, and I went from having like 1 or 2 perfumes to literally over 30 in the last year. And I have to say, one of my close friends, whose YouTube channel I will link in the description, she really got me into it. She has over 100 perfumes, and she's so knowledgeable, and her perfume reviews and her knowledge is just amazing. So, highly recommend you check her out. But anyways, I'm going to talk about 3 specific perfumes that I'm really into at the moment. And the first one is Yellow Diamond by Versace. So, I am not a big fan of many Versace fragrances, especially their Crystal series. The only crystal that I really love is the Crystal Noir. And I don't like bright crystal. I don't like bright crystal absolute. Not my thing. And even this one took time to grow on me. So it's just a perfect summer fragrance, and I'll explain why. The top notes that really come through for me are bergamot and lemon. So I'm not a big citrus or lemon fan, but for some reason this is an exception. It smells very clean, and it's balanced out with a sweetness from the heart notes, which are sweet florals like lily, mimosa, and freesia. So it has the top citrusy and lemony smells, and then it has a floral sweetness to it. So it just makes for a beautiful and light fragrance. And I don't know about you, but in the summer, when I'm picking a fragrance and it's a really hot day or a really humid day, I don't want to feel sticky or overpowered with fragrance, and I don't want to have a sweet fragrance or a warm fragrance or anything too overbearing. When it's hot and when I'm sweaty and when it's sticky outside, I want to smell fresh and I want to smell clean, and this is the perfect one. It's my go-to all summer. I really love it. I've grown to love it. I did not love it as much as I do now. It just makes me feel refreshed. Very fresh, very good fragrance. Similarly, I have L'Imperatrice Limited Edition, which is a Dolce & Gabbana fragrance. So the top 2 notes are strawberry and watermelon. And that is the reason that I wanted this perfume, was because I don't have anything with either of those notes in them, especially in the top notes. The strawberry and watermelon are just beautiful, so unique. It smells like a fruit punch or some fruity cocktail. The watermelon and the strawberry, sweet but fruity and a little bit sour. Love it. And then the heart notes have some flowers like magnolia, which to me is a very fresh and springy floral. It just has a light feel. And I love it. Like, it's a perfect going out to dinner in the summer kind of perfume. And I think I'm actually going to wear it today because I love it. Oh, so good. Now, the last perfume I'm going to talk about is not a specific perfume to summer. So I wore this a lot this spring, and I bought it back in February, I believe, and it is Angel Nova by Mugler. Now, I had the original Angel, and I still do, and I use it, and I love that fragrance. But when I smelled Angel Nova, I instantly fell in love. To me, it's the perfect perfume. It is my favorite. I literally talk about this perfume all the time. I love it. I'm so glad I bought this and really got into it, because otherwise I probably just would have stuck with the original Angel, which is very different but also very good. So getting into this was perfect. Lychee, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, and raspberry are the top notes. So it's very tart and sweet and just like in your face, bold, tart fragrance. And it's very feminine, and it has rose in the heart, and I love anything with a rose in it. And the base notes have some oud agar wood, so it kind of balances it out and kind of makes it more mature of a fragrance, not just purely sweet. And it kind of adds that depth and that spice and that woodiness to it. But overall, it's a very sweet, feminine, sparkly, gorgeous fragrance. I love this with all my heart. I will never stop talking about this perfume. And I do save it for special occasions because it is such a potent and strong fragrance. And I can't wear it every day because it's really strong. It stays on your clothes, stays in your hair, whatever. So that's that. Next, I'm going to talk about some things that I've really been obsessed with lately. So first I'm going to start with this spray. It is called Chemin de Roses. It is a spray for your pillow and your sheets and your bed, that sort of thing, just to freshen it up. And I spray this on every night and every morning before I go to bed and when I wake up, on my pillow and on the section of my sheets that I sleep in, that sort of thing. It's very fresh and very floral. Obviously, it's rose. It just makes the room and the bed smell clean. And I bought this at a home goods and antique furniture kind of store. Hard to explain, but very cool store. They have everything from candles to home goods to organic soaps, sprays, and then they also have tons of antique furniture, vintage books, what have you. And I love this spray. I got it recently, and I definitely know I'm going to use it every day like I have been. So the next thing I got, well, I didn't get this, but it was a gift to me, is a Turkish towel. And I've never owned or used a Turkish towel. It doesn't really feel like a towel at all. It has a very kind of rough and like linen-y feel almost. So not like your typical terry cloth towel. My mother got this when she was on a trip in the Amalfi Coast in Italy. So it says Amalfi. I chose the one with purple stripes and the yellow and the fringe. And I'm going to the beach tomorrow, and apparently Turkish towels don't stick to sand. So the sand should just wipe right off, mess free, all that. And even though I'm still skeptical, apparently it does dry you. Like I said, I've never used a towel in this fabric, so I'll have to see how it works tomorrow. But I'm really excited to use it. I love the colors, I love the stripes. It's very practical and very cute. So for the last thing, I'm going to talk about something that I love and I've had for a year now, and I use it almost every day, and I'm obsessed with it. It is a book that I found at Barnes & Noble's months ago called 12,000 Dreams Interpreted. So this doesn't interpret your dreams for you, but it is a book of symbols and that sort of thing. So let's say you have a dream and there's a specific detail or a specific object or a symbol or event that happens in that dream and it sticks out to you, then you go find it. So these are all the things that I've tabbed, just stuff that pops up in my dream. I'll think of the symbol that really stuck with me or the symbols that stuck with me in that dream, and the next morning I'll just put a tab on it. So for example, here's one I have tabbed. It's kissing. So some have one description and one interpretation. Some have multiple, depending on how you interact with said symbol in the dream. But this one is kissing. So there's a lot of lines for this one because there's a lot of ways to interpret a kiss. The one I tabbed was to dream of kissing illicitly denotes dangerous pastimes. Indulging in an unsavory relationship may bring tragedy. And this goes for any other symbol. Another one I have tabbed is haunting. I had a dream with a ghost in it. Not a bad ghost by any means. It was a loved one. It was a very happy dream almost, but it was still a ghost. So to be haunted by a ghost in your dreams foretells an unexpected gift, and etc. So I just love this book, and if you have extremely vivid and surreal dreams like me that have a lot of symbolism and a lot of wacky stories within one dream, and you're not really sure how to interpret them, then this book is for you. This has helped me a lot because as vivid as my dreams feel, they're often so surrealist that there's not one plot. It's just one story into the next, and it's just hard to kind of figure out what it's trying to tell me, and I just find it really interesting. Dreams in general are a big interest of mine, so that's that. Now I'm going to end this video on something that is an ultimate obsession of mine, and a very recent obsession, because that is Renaissance by Beyonce. Yes, her new album, and it is literally all I've listened to since it came out. I have been a fan of hers for a while, and I have my favorite albums, I have my favorite Beyonce songs, but this is definitely climbing its way to the top. I mean, I love it. It's so fun, it's so uplifting, it's exactly the dance album I'd expect her to give, top notch, everything. I loved Break My Soul when it came out, and I still do. Even though it got mixed reactions, I was a fan. And new songs, I mean Alien Superstar, my ultimate fave, Summer Renaissance, Pure Honey, All Up in Your Mind, Virgo's Groove, I mean it's a classic disco moment, Cuff It, so fun, so groovy. So I don't know who this would apply to, but if you have not heard about this album, then go check it out. Or if you have simply not listened, then definitely do that. Anyways, wanted to end on that note. So if you're still here, thanks for watching, and till next time, whenever that is.